The Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union State Basketball Tournament for 2025 kicks off on this Monday morning. We have a whole lot of games, and you have to get to the finals. You got to win the first one. Hello, everybody, along with Blake Walker. I'm Paul Yeager. We're courtside today for this Class 5A matchup between the Johnston Dragons and the Iowa City Liberty Lightning. Blake, this is a game that is a number of years in the making for Liberty. In their 8th year, they're making their first trip to state as a school. Johnston has been here so long, Blake. The 2015 program is where you find the first Johnston team to make this streak, with players like Rachel Hinders, Taryn Knuth, Haley Towers, and you've got these upstarts. What a good matchup we have to start. What do you see as a key?
It really is. I think for Iowa City Liberty, you have to start fast. I mean, you've never been here before, so you have to start fast. Lean on Natalie Ramsey, who we'll talk about. For Johnston, I think you just got to settle in and you just got to play your game. You've been here before, and I think that's something they have to think of. Yes, they're the heavy favorite, but you can't think about it that way.
Let's see how their road to state came to be. Both of these teams in Class 5A. Liberty 17-6. Johnston 23-0. For Liberty, they knocked out City High with, average, better than average free throw shooting, but it is Natalie Ramsey that you talk about. Now for Johnston, 23-0. They have been outstanding. They're one of the best in the country. They average 68 points a game. Jenica Lewis, Amani Jenkins, we could go on and on.
It really is unbelievable what these two girls bring to the floor. And then their supporting cast just keeps getting better. So that's what's just fun to watch about this Johnston team. They're so experienced. They play like a college team sometime, and obviously with the experience, it really helps out.
When we come back, we'll dive deeper in today's game with our Seeds for Success presented by Channel Seeds, plus the starting lineups. You're watching the 2025 Girls State Basketball Tournament presented by Iowa Farm Bureau on the Girls Union Digital Network, powered by Mid-American Energy.
Here in Greater Des Moines, we're the unexpected sports mecca that feels like home. We are the big ballers, the little kickers, the underdogs, and the bulldogs. We've got events wacky and wild, big and small, we host them all. That old sports cliche, nobody believes in us? Nah, when you come here, you'll believe it. Because in Des Moines, only the S's are silent. Let's go!
At Mid-American Energy, we're one company serving 1.6 million people who all need energy that's available 24/7. That's why we work 24/7. That's why we make investments in our systems that make us more resilient to extreme weather. That's why we generate power from all available resources to cover the variables in supply and demand. And that's why when the power is knocked out, we work around the clock to restore power to you. Mid-American Energy, obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Getting you ready for Iowa City Liberty and Johnston to kick off the 2025 State Girls Basketball Tournament here courtside at Wells Fargo Arena. Paul Yeager, Blake Walker with you. And Blake, if we look at our Seeds for Success brought to you by Channel Seeds for Johnston, let's start with the team that, has only won 49 straight. They've won titles in 2022 and 24. Their last 10, Blake, they are 226-21. But for Liberty, though, that's what they're facing. What do you see for them as keys?
Like I said, you just can't get patient here to start. You got to jump out of the gate because that's what Johnston does. They jump out early, and it's like a knockout, drag-out fight. They really don't slow down. So I think Liberty's going to have to start fast. Natalie Ramsey, none of these girls have been here, so they really got to get going. They've been on the floor a lot warming up. They really got to start fast, and I think that'll help them out. For Johnston, it's don't change. You just read the stats. I mean, you know what you bring to the floor. You've been here before. You've done it all over, and I think that's just something that they can really build on. And then for both, you just got to embrace it. It's day one of the Iowa Girls State Basketball Tournament. It's always a fun time. The environment's the biggest they've played in all year, and just enjoy the moment. You don't get to have these a ton.
You look at Johnston and you look at Liberty. We discussed in the open about how many years Johnston's been here. The seniors would have been in second grade. The freshmen wouldn't even have been in kindergarten yet. So that's how long Coach Chad Gillick has been able to do with this program. It just seems like when one average good player graduates, another great one comes in to take her place. Amani Jenkins, just not enough said. She's headed to Virginia Tech. She averages 16 points a game. But you also look at Jenica Lewis. possibly one of the best 1-2 combo he's had in that stretch.
I think it definitely is, and it's because it's a guard and then it's a center. So you have your 1-2 punch that really works for Johnston. We haven't seen that in a while. I mean, yes, we had it with Jada Gyamfi and Maya McDermott at Johnston, but other than that, we just haven't seen that much. If one's off, the other one's right back on.
For Liberty, we look at the return of Kennedy Goodhart. She'd spent part of the year with an injury to a torn labrum. She's back into the lineup. It's been Maddie Casey who's really been doing a lot, but Natalie Ramsey is the one who I think we say stirs the drink.
Yes, yeah,
Sets
absolutely.
the table.
And 40 points in the regional final. You knew she wanted to get here, and she's just a junior. I think there's a lot to look forward to. The craziest thing about her, she's the tallest one in the starting five. She's the only one at 6 foot for Iowa City Liberty. They're going to lean on her a lot. Expect her to show up here today.
And she has committed to the University of South Dakota, where one of the assistant coaches, Chris Guess, longtime staple here at the Iowa Girls State Basketball Tournament. When we come back, starting lineups, the opening tip, the national anthem, we have it all coming up next. You're watching the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union State Basketball Tournament on the Digital Network, brought to you by Mid-American Energy.
Hello, I'm Brent Johnson, a fifth-generation farmer from Calhoun County and president of the Iowa Farm Bureau.
And I'm Erin Gerlich, executive director of the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union. We're excited to have you join us for the Girls State Basketball Tournament.
The Iowa Farm Bureau is proud to be the title sponsor of this amazing event. Iowa's farmers work endlessly to grow and raise nutritious food and sustain our local communities. Similarly, Iowa's student athletes dedicate countless hours to train and excel in their sport. Partnering with the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union allows us to celebrate farmers and student athletes while supporting and empowering the Iowa girl.
Reaching the state tournament is a tremendous achievement, and it requires strong support. Thanks to the Iowa Farm Bureau, we can celebrate and honor students for their accomplishments on the basketball court and in the classroom. The Iowa Farm Bureau is dedicated to your success, assisting our organization in providing awards, grants and scholarships, as well as concussion insurance and these wonderful championship hats. These contributions not only protect student athletes' health, but also highlight outstanding performance in both athletics and academics.
As Iowans, we have so much to be proud of, and every single one of us plays a role in making our state great. So, from the Iowa Farm Bureau
and the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union,
congratulations on an outstanding season and best of luck in the tournament.
Matchup featuring from Iowa City, the Liberty Lightning and the Johnston Dragons. Fans, tradition is an important part of the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union's storied history. Because our past is an integral part of what we do today, we ask that everyone in attendance please join us in a round of applause to show our appreciation to all the women who have participated in high school athletics in Iowa. Once an Iowa girl, always an Iowa girl. Now, fans, at this time, the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union and the Iowa Farm Bureau would like to recognize the outstanding sportsmanship shown by Liberty High School and Johnston High School. In recognition of good sportsmanship, each state qualifying school was asked to nominate a spectator who represents their school and community in a sportsmanlike manner. Maya Tecklenburg from Johnston High School, a member of the IGHSAU Student Athlete Advisory Committee, will present each nominee with a certificate of recognition and a $250 check payable to their school scholarship fund. Please join us in honoring these individuals whose decorum and respect for others serves as a model for all spectators attending interscholastic events. From Liberty High School, Shoshone Hughes. And from Johnston High School, Brendan Pleasant. The Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union promotes good sportsmanship by all here present today. We request your cooperation by supporting the participants, officials, and spectators in a positive manner. Profanity, racial, sexist, or abusive comments, or intimidating actions directed at officials, participants, coaches, team representatives, or event personnel will not be tolerated and are grounds for removal. We thank you for your cooperation, and as the lady said, enjoy the game. Fans, it's now time to introduce our players in today's 5A quarterfinal matchup. First of all, here are your non-starters and assistant coaches for the Liberty Lightning. Number 3, Natalie Scheckinger. Number 4, Brinley Walker. Number 5, Ava Tagg. Number 12, Sydney Van Huklum. Number 21, Morgan Bennett. Number 24, Maddie Meyer. And number 33, Sydney Hayden. Your assistant coaches, Jeff Printy, Tom McGrain, and Josh Hildebrand. Let's meet the non-starters and assistant coaches for the Johnston Dragons. Number 4, Sydney Pullman. Number 5, Sydney Felice. Number 12, Chloe Helgeson. Number 23, Jalea Kinnitz. Number 24, Ruby Pullman. Number 32, Paige Endernock. Number 33, Emma Gray. Number 34, Adeline Hauser. Number 40, Hannah Haxton. And number 44, Kaya Hood. Your assistant coaches, Brad Buchan, Christine Wolford, and Steve Valine. And now, here are your starters for this 5A quarterfinal. For Liberty at guard, a 5'5" sophomore, number 1, Ava Casey. For the Dragons at guard, a 5'10" junior, number 10, Jenica Lewis. For Lightning at forward, a 5'7" senior, number 2, Janessa Mosley. For the Dragons at guard, a 5'8" sophomore, number 14, Ari Phillips. For the Lightning at guard, a 5'9" junior, number 11, Kennedy Goodhart. At guard for the Dragons, a 5'8" sophomore, number 20, Taya Phillips. At forward for Liberty, a 6' junior, number 25, Natalie Ramsey. At guard for the Dragons, a 5'10" freshman, number 22, Kelly Kalb. And for the Lightning at guard, a 5'8" senior, number 30, Maddie Casey. At forward for the Dragons, a 6'1" senior, number 42, Amani Jenkins. Head coach for the Lightning, Jamie Brandt. And for the Dragons, Chad Gillick. Now, fans, let me introduce to you our officials for today's 5A quarterfinal, as assigned by the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union. Your referee, Jeff Horst. Umpire, Bill Mock. Umpire, Mark Gassman. And your bench official, Tyler Hovig. And now, fans, at this time, we ask you to please stand, remove your caps and hats, and join us in directing your attention to the flag as we honor our many veterans who have served our country, those who currently protect our freedom all over the world, and our great country of America with the singing of our national anthem today, performed by the Boyden Holt Jazz Choir under the direction of Kim Gotland. Ladies and gentlemen, our national anthem.
What so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
Well, you know who the players are. You know where the fans are sitting. You know who they're cheering for. We've had all the introductions. We've had all the preparation. It's now time for basketball as we approach 10 o'clock on Monday, March 3rd, 2025. The last time Johnston dropped a game was on this date in 2023 in the title game to PV Blake Walker. So March 3rd is something Coach Chad Gillick is probably telling those girls, don't worry about it. Just go out and play.
And it feels so long ago, and that was such a shocker for the state. Liberty's going to have to pull another shocker today if they want a chance. This is going to be a good one.
Pleasant Valley plays in the game after hours against Centennial, but now it'll be Johnston and Liberty. The Dragons in their home white uniforms, purple numbers trimmed in black. The Bolts of Liberty in all black with purple numbers trimmed in white. Jeff Horst is ready to throw it up, and we are underway. Johnston will go from left to right on your screen. Hello around the world, wherever you may be watching early on. It's a run-in floater. Good for Ari Phillips.
Ari Phillips, just so good. Just a sophomore. Kind of really burst on the scene last year as a freshman. Really talented, just averaging just under 9 points per contest.
Ari and her twin sister, Dea. Tough to defend. Good-looking three there from Ava Casey, who's also has a sister on the team, which is Maddie. One and done for the Lightning. Going right to the hoop is Jenkins, and then she stopped on a cut. Here comes Called. Loose ball tracked down by Mosley for the Lightning.
Yeah, Liberty only comes in just 7 steals per game.
We have a little shot clock violation, or not violation, just didn't reset on the possession change. So that'll give Johnston a chance to get back in their defense, and the Lightning can reassess for just a quick second. "15-footer from the wing. Ramsey's ball is long, rebound by Goodhart, but it's tipped away. Here comes Johnston. 3 open look from Lewis is good.
There's not much else to say about Jenica Lewis. I mean, over 50 D1 offers, still doesn't know where she's going to go play college ball, but boy, just a star.
3 for Liberty is long by Maddie Casey. Rebound comes to Amani Jenkins. She's headed to Virginia Tech. She's made her decision, but it's Lewis who is just keeping things open Lots of coaches coming to practice throughout the year to take a look at her in practice. A huge upside. They go Jenkins on the block. Now back out. It's coming to you, Blake. And it hits the camera on the first try. Very first game goes the camera.
We got our PTZ camera, and I watched my producer Justin just cringe. That's a tough one right there, but
if that's all we have, see, we got it out of the way.
Yeah, I was going to say,
you don't have to worry about anything the rest of the week. Turnover goes back to Liberty, and the block. No, they're going to say a foul. Dea Phillips is whistled for her first personal at the 6:21 mark. Johnston 5, Liberty 0.
I don't hate it to start. Liberty's been so, they're just content with taking outside jumpers, and yeah, they've been off the mark that time. Casey goes to the rack and has a chance to take some free throws where she's a 75% free throw shooter.
Misses the first. Lightning still looking for their first point at the state tournament. 8th year as a high school. And the free throw is good by Maddie Casey. So put that in the book as your first ever point.
Save that for Liberty Trivia Night in a couple years.
Driving in, dishing is Phillips, and scoring is Phillips.
It's just unselfish basketball. There's so many assists on this team because they look for that next option when they go to the rim.
Into the corner. Now on the left side block, no good is the shot by Ramsey. Dragons push the tempo. Dea Phillips now to a cutting sister, now to the right side, called 3, no good. Jenkins has it taken away and then stays to harass Casey, who now pushes the tempo. 3 on the way, in rhythm, just off the mark by Ramsey.
Liberty shoots 32% from the three-point line this year, and obviously not great to start today.
Give and go to Phillips is good. Dea with a bucket. Great give by Jenica Lewis.
And that's why you don't see a lot of big 20, 30-point scoring games for anybody on this Johnston team because they just share the ball so well.
Good cut. In stride, Mosley had to stop. Now she kicks it out to the outside to Casey, and we've got a whistle and a foul going to be called on the freshman, Kelly Kolb.
What a surprise she's been this year. I mean, you always wonder when is a freshman going to come in and make big plays, but Kelly Kolb has come in and you're like, whoa, okay, there's another star Johnston's bud.
To come in as a freshman is a big deal for this program. Nice cut to the basket, but man, what a block by Lewis. Jenkins there as well. Lewis pushes it. Now good cut, layup and score. Dea Phillips with 6 of the Dragons' 11 points.
That time, it was just nobody picked each other up. I mean, that time you have to keep an eye. You got to talk on the floor, and Liberty just kind of missed it.
Into the corner goes Ramsey. Dribbles down to the block. Gets it over for a little bit there by Lewis, who altered the shot. Lewis now pushes it for Johnston. Way out 3. That's Clark distance. No good. Jenkins collects. Tries to get it back to Kolb. 4.5 to play, and it's a turnover. Ava Casey does a great deny to get that ball. Catch and shoot. Long 3. No good by Maddie Meyer.
Settling for a lot of threes here early are the Bolts.
Jenkins drives, and then she is no. Initially, I thought we were going to see a tie-up, but instead it's going to be a blocking foul on Liberty.
That must have just gotten hit before the contact, or the contact happened before she stole it.
There's a look at Coach Chad Gillick, the Mason City native. This morning, the Dragons went to Panera for their team breakfast. What'd you have, Coach? I had to pick 2. Mac and cheese. Mac and cheese for breakfast,
my go-tos,
huh? Yeah, that's a breakfast of champions right there. Nice catch, shoot, and score, Ari Phillips.
It's not that Johnston's really emptying out the playbook. I think it's just really good motion right now by the offense. Find themselves lead by 12 here early.
I think they've taken 2 threes. They've done a lot of inside work there. They go down low for Ramsey, and she has it blocked and pushing it.
Might be our 4th or 5th block of the day already.
Is Kinnitz. Now the 3 on the way from Lewis, no good. Rebound, this one's all over the place. Jenkins bends over, but fighting it. And
it's aggressive here early, I can
well,
tell you
and
that.
Maddie Meyer is just like, how is that not a foul? I was here and had it. 30-second timeout called by Coach Jamie Brandt. You might remember her as a Hawkeye. Jamie Printy played for the Iowa women. Jamie coached. Her dad is on the staff, Tom McGrain, who coached at Wash there in Cedar Rapids, and Josh Hildebrand in that squad. And Printy was BC before Clark.
Yeah, she was. And my earliest memories of going to Iowa games were Jamie Printy playing. And I think it was always good under the Lisa Bluter era. But, man, when Printy got there, that kind of started a trend of Iowa basketball. Iowa women's basketball is going to be really good.
Printy played at Linn-Mar. And we have a couple of players who've played in the state tournament who are now coaching, and always fun to see you come back as a coach and wearing that coach lanyard. Johnston out of the timeout, elects to go some pressure, and it's stolen away. Here comes Lewis. She's got Meyer one-on-one, fakes right, goes left, and scores.
A lot of these points are coming in transition. They just don't have a lot of time to set up.
Nice catch, shoot, and score for Janessa Mosley.
Maybe it was just needed one to see go down. And Mosley's able to have a good stop and go there on the transition and gets Liberty their first official bucket of the game.
Mosley to stay close to home and go to Kirkwood next year. Just up by 380. And a nice denial. Actually, you don't even have to get on the interstate to get to Kirkwood from Liberty, I should say. Ramsey dribbles, now leaves it. Top of the key, way out three, and good for Ava Casey. Nice shot by the sophomore.
Well, and even despite the misses, they're just going to keep shooting them, and that's a really nice job by Madeline Casey there, averaging 12 points per game coming into the state tournament.
5-0 run for the Bolts. Nice cut in behind, dribbled through is Andernacht, and it's going to be a turnover back to Iowa City Liberty into the game. Some substitutions. Learn how you can be worry-free at imtins.com.
And Paige Andernacht, another freshman that's getting a good chunk of playing time here at the state tournament. So, I mean, the Dragons, they don't rebuild. They just retool and reload.
And if, say, the head coach tells you that there might be a seventh grader that's really good, if you're one of the other CIML teams, you're going, oh, seriously?
One of those, there's no way this can keep happening, right?
Good denial there by Lewis, and now she's going to get the pass out ahead and lay it up and score. That is part of the reason coaches love Jenica Lewis's game.
I mean, she can shoot from far out, but yeah, she's so good in transition, really helps her out.
Catch and shoot, no good by Maddie Casey. Rebound. Again, now it's Kinnitz for three, no good. Rebound. Put back up and good. Paige Andernacht. 19-6 Dragons.
And Andernacht averages about 3 rebounds a game. And again, any production off the bench is good. Production by a freshman off the bench, that's great.
Nice drop step there by Ramsey, and she's fouled. And she'll get a couple of free throws.
And Natalie's been shut down here early. Jenica's mostly been on her. Finally, she gets a chance to go to the line.
Of all the 5A players in the tournament, Natalie Ramsey leads them all in scoring as she misses the first free throw. You mentioned it, Blake, in the opener, 40 in the regional final against City High. She did it with 5 threes in that contest. So not only can she score from the block, she can do it from the outside. Hits the second free throw, her first point of the game. Cuts the lead to 12. Pullman, that's Sydney. Now they go Andernacht, and it's knocked away. It'll stay with Johnston. 1:17 on the game clock, 24 on the shot clock.
Both teams so active with hands on both ends. Liberty's gotten a couple opportunities, just haven't been able to turn them into points.
Kinnitz gets it in, now into the corner. Looks for the screen, gets it back to Phillips. And it's a travel on the sophomore.
They got lucky that it was a travel because you had Sydney Pullman wide open over there in the corner, spotting up for 3.
Another set of sisters, Sydney and Ruby, 2 of the 3 triplets. Nice 15-foot fade by Ramsey, falls left to the mark. Andernock chases it down.
That's a good rebound.
Kinnitz drives in on her defender, lays it up, and will get one more on the and one on the foul.
Jalea averages the most out of anyone off the bench, just under 8 points per game. And, man, just a talented junior that has just kind of sat in the lineup, done what she's been asked, and great play in transition there to get the bucket.
She has missed a number of games since the Dowling game at Dowling. She has been fighting a knee injury. You can see her right leg, and not in that shot, but on the wide shot, you'll see she has the right leg in a, it's a tight. That's what it is. It's not a brace, but she's dealing with, as the hockey coaches would say, a lower body injury.
That Dowling game for Johnston, one of just 3 games where the score finished within single digits for the Dragons this year.
3 on the way by Goodhart is no good. And again, the rebound comes out to Johnston. Sydney Pullman, 3. Goes long. Crowd goes, ooh. They wanted to see her score. Dea Phillips, the Liberty fans, thought touched it last, but the officials say no, it was Liberty, so it'll stay with Johnston. Shot clock off for the final 27.9 of the first quarter.
Yeah, it looks like Johnston content. Maybe. Not really.
Kinnitz, fake, bake, shoot, score.
If you can score points if you're Johnston, you're going to score points, and that's exactly what you just saw.
Kinnitz now with 5. Three seconds, 2. The floater at the buzzer, too strong by Casey. And we end quarter number 1. Johnston 24, Liberty 7. You're watching the Iowa Girls State Basketball Tournament on the Digital Network, brought to you by Mid-American Energy.
At Mid-American Energy, we're one company serving 1.6 million people who all need energy that's available 24/7. That's why we work 24/7. That's why we make investments in our systems that make us more resilient to extreme weather. That's why we generate power from all available resources to cover the variables in supply and demand. And that's why when the power is knocked out, we work around the clock to restore power to you. Mid-American Energy, obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
If you grill it, he will come.
Hey.
Is this heaven?
Nope. It's fairway.
Across Iowa, hundreds of neighborhood banks are providing jobs, supporting businesses, and strengthening our communities. Here, success is built by you, and the life you build is backed by Iowa Banks. See what we mean at iowabankers.com. Quarter number 2 set to begin here at the state tournament, Class 5A. There's a look at the Johnston Pep Band and Johnston Music with another great weekend of show choir. Innovation wins the Southeast Polk Invitational. Comprehensive coverage, Blake Walker. That's what we do here.
I do love a good band. I love choir. I was in choir, so.
Show choir? Jenkins.
No show choir in Grinnell, Iowa.
All right. Jenkins catches and scores.
She hasn't really had to do much today.
No, I was thinking about that. Like Jenkins didn't even play the last 3 minutes of that quarter. And that's one thing, though, you got to be thinking about is managing minutes in this week. 3-pointer on the way. Rattles in and out. No good for Casey. And Johnston, again, with just laser passes up the court. Phillips to a Phillips again. I don't know how she passed it, got rid of it, and got it back. It's like she's a twin.
You talked about, laser passes. The passes on the other end are just as good. I mean, they're just able to drop right into the lane.
Lewis steps in front of the pass like she's a defensive back. Up ahead. Ari Phillips now with
Can he
6.
keep up?
No, you never can with this Johnston team, and that's what all 5A's been doing for these last few years, trying to keep up with this team. I don't know how you do it, Blake.
The thing is, they've challenged themselves with such a tough schedule.
Good 3 by Ava Casey. She has 6 points, both of them threes.
If you keep watching the tournament, you're going to see a really talented North Polk team here tomorrow.
And then you have Amani Jenkins, who steps back and shoots the three.
I don't even need to say anything. The action speaks for itself.
Well, she's very skilled with the ball, but she's also could shoot the three, as Coach says. And she says she should have pointed at us and said, see, Paul and Blake, you guys, I can shoot the three. Mosley drives in on Kolb. Long shot. There for the rebound is Lewis, who, by the way, just has to have an incredible amount of rebounds. Catch and shoot and score is Jenkins.
I think with Johnston, you think Jenica Lewis. I don't think a lot of people think about Amani Jenkins. And I think it's just she's not hidden talent, but, man, once you see her on the floor, you're like, oh, she's got to be good. And she really lives up to it.
Mosley loses it for just a moment, gets it back to Casey. Ava now to the right wing, into the corner. They go for Maddie Casey, who's headed to Quincy College. Mosley, shot clock at 4. It goes off of Johnston. Coming in for Johnston is Kinnitz on an IMT insurance substitution. Learn how you can be worry-free at imtins.com. Inbound goes to Ramsey. 2 seconds. 1, she's got to shoot. It's blocked. It'll be a shot clock violation, but instead they blow the whistle dead, even though Johnston had the ball. That's kind of that.
It's a gray zone.
Gray area there. But Mark Gassman says, nope, we got to stop.
Well, that's really the first time we've seen the shot clock really get low for Liberty. It's either they've missed a shot, taking it early in the possession, or it's a turnover.
Phillips opens up, turns back, shoots the 15-footer. Jenkins battling Ramsey, and Ramsey the winner.
So that time Casey covered Jenkins the whole way.
Good three ball from Maddie Casey. The senior averages 13 points. She's all-state academic the last 2 years. First team all-conference this year, trying to get her team back into the game under 5, and it's one and done for the Dragons.
They can't look at the scoreboard. I mean, you just got to keep playing your game.
And to your point, Blake, about the shot clock going lower, you could argue that that's maybe part of what Coach Brandt said at the end of the quarter. All right, let's just get layups and better shots, because you were talking about they were shooting a lot of threes in that first quarter.
And, yeah, they were open, but sometimes you're just like, we could maybe take a better shot than that, and then coming here to the state tournament your first time out and just kind of tossing up threes.
Yeah, you've seen that time and time again on teams that are new here. They come out and shoot instead of just trying to do this. Drive to the hoop and try to score, as Lewis's shot is long. Rebound, here comes Casey. 3, looks good because it is.
And that time, Ari Phillips didn't even try to block it. She's like, well, I mean, you haven't been great, so she just kind of shrugged when it went in, but you can start making them.
Phillips drives in and lays it into the left hand.
Oh, man.
Sophomore now with 8.
What a move.
Johnston shooting 68% from the field. Liberty 24% right now.
And they average almost 50% from the field on any given night.
3, no good by Casey. Again, the rebound. Of course, Jenica Lewis gets the board. She is fouled just inside the free throw line.
But for Johnston, what bad shots have they taken? I mean, I don't think there's many bad shots. I mean, they're getting good looks. And
I would say Jenica Lewis, she's taller than she was a year ago.
Yeah, what's up with that?
And Jenkins always had the height on her, but to see the two stand next to each other, she's gotten taller, and I think her game, look at that, catch and shoot and score. Jenkins gets the bucket.
She reminds me a lot of Jada Gyamfi, and obviously a lot of people know, they see her on Iowa, and obviously hasn't been able to play a ton. But Jada,
you wanted to say you see her on TikTok. I know that's what you were trying to say.
But Amani plays like Jada did, and Jada was so good in the post for Johnston. And Amani she can really free herself open for 3. We've seen that, and obviously very good from the charity stripe as well.
First team all-conference player hits the bucket now with double digits and 10. Ramsey gives it up. Knocked away for a moment by Kolb. Way out front is Schechinger. Now 3 again. The one who's been trying to will this team back in, Maddie Casey, misses the mark, and Lewis falls down, but that's because she had help, and that's a foul. Going to be whistled, I think, on Maddie Meyer, the junior, who started most of the years. They call her a scrappy defender. With the injury to Goodhart, Meyer had a lot of quality minutes during this season.
Well, and for Goodhart, just to try to fit back into the lineup, you get so used to a certain lineup, and then you get a little bit of change here near the end of the season. It's got to be a little bit tougher to adjust.
Jenkins has it taken away. Right there, Maddie Meyer. She knows we're talking about her in her defense.
Well, she almost had one earlier, but it was called for that foul.
Kolb collects, lays it in. She took like 3 strides from half court and scored.
Boy, she can run.
As the cross-country coach, Pat Hennis, looks at it and goes, I need to get her out for cross.
What's she doing this spring, track and field?
Poked away for a moment. 2 1/4 to go. Good
nice.
Fake and bake and score. Natalie Scheckiner, her first 2. Freshman now makes it 42-18.
That's a 5'8" freshman. Still got a lot of growing to go.
Jenkins' 3 rattles around, and it's a putback up by Kolb.
There's that freshman again. Freshmen are showing out here early in the state tournament. No jitters for them.
3 on the way, no good by Casey. Jenkins grabs it with the right. And here comes Ari Phillips and the Dragons under 2 minutes to play before half. Holds it, catches it. Oh, my goodness. That might be one of the most athletic plays. That could have been the worst shot they've taken. Kinnett's the reverse under the rim.
Well, and it's just they move, and they're never not moving on offense. I think next time you come back, watch one player and see if she ever stands still. I mean, it's unbelievable.
Pocket picked by Phillips. To the right side, the rack and score. Timeout, Liberty here. 1:22. You're watching the Girls State Basketball Tournament Class 5A quarterfinal here on the Girls Digital Network, built and powered by Mid-American Energy.
Mid-American Energy, we're one company serving 1.6 million people who all need energy that's available 24/7. That's why we work 24/7. That's why we make investments in our systems that make us more resilient to extreme weather. That's why we generate power from all available resources to cover the variables in supply and demand. And that's why when the power is knocked out, we work around the clock to restore power to you. Mid-American Energy, obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Liberty this season played state tournament qualifiers, Wahlert Catholic, Prairie, and Xavier here before they now face Johnston. And you look at Johnston's schedule, I think it's 9 of their opponents are in the state tournament. They had to play Dowling twice, Waukee Northwest twice. You mentioned North Pope,
yep.
Prairie, another game.
Those were late. Those are the last 5 games.
Yeah, and Johnston holds a tournament right before Christmas that is kind of like a match to the rivalry Saturday in Eastern Iowa. Then they do something there at Johnston High School. Davenport North played Johnston. Prairie was at that tournament.
Yep.
A couple of teams from Minnesota and Nebraska there as well. Dowling, Pleasant Valley. So lots of good 5A basketball. And if you're a coach looking at this going, I got to get into that because I have to get my team something to keep up with Johnston.
Yeah.
Nice turnaround by Ramsey is good.
You got to at least get a feel for what they bring to the table. And, Liberty didn't get a lot of Des Moines teams this year.
3 off the mark by Lewis. Maybe her worst miss of the season, if the fans behind us have anything to say about it. Into the corner for Liberty goes Goodhart. Now back up with Casey. Back to Goodhart. 3, short. Weak side rebound goes off the hands of Andernacht. Actually, they're going to say it went off of Maddie Meyer, the officials do.
Johnston's shooting 69% from the floor. Liberty is shooting 27% from the floor. That is 26% from the floor. It's quite drastic here.
Into the corner, Kinnitz. And she's fouled up by Ramsey. I hear somebody in the stands just promoting Jeff Linder's podcast.
Oh, wow.
Call it both ways. It's always a classic. 19 seconds to go.
We'll see a tweet about it here in about 3 minutes.
Johnston with the lead by 28 points here. Nice give and go. No, it's got to be Phillips to the day. 7 seconds. Pullman, top of the key, 3, good.
Man, somebody's always open.
And that is how the half is going to end. 51-20. It is all Johnston. Blake Walker, this is probably one of Johnston's most impressive performances as we take a look at this last play. There's the 3 from Pullman. And just, I don't know what you say at halftime, but Coach Brandt's going to have to figure something out here with
she is. And, hopefully some rust has been shaken off, and you just got to think the shots have got to start falling. I still think they could penetrate to the paint just a little bit more. I think they're taking way too many three-pointers, but got to get back in transition, and you got to pick up your man. I think that's where Johnston's bulk of their points have been coming, and you said it. This has got to be Johnston's best half of the season. It came in the first round of the state tournament.
Heck of a time to come. We will recap the first half when we return. You are watching the 2025 Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union State Basketball Tournament, powered by the Digital Network by Mid-American Energy.
Here in Greater Des Moines, we're the unexpected sports mecca that feels like home. We are the big ballers, the little kickers, the underdogs, and the bulldogs. We've got events wacky and wild, big and small, we host them all. That old sports cliche, nobody believes in us? Nah, when you come here, you'll believe it. Because in Des Moines, only the S's are silent. Let's go!
Different people have different needs, so Delta Dental of Iowa has affordable dental and vision coverage that meets you where you are. Small business on a budget? We have options with no employer costs. Traditional Medicare plans don't cover dental, but we do. And if you can't get benefits at work, you can buy direct from us. Plus, we give back to local communities, so you help make an impact. Choose Delta Dental for your smile, for your health, for your community.
Freedom Tire is proud to support the Iowa Girl through their sponsorship of the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union. With 6 locations around the metro, you're never far from getting you back or keeping you on the road. Our certified staff and state-of-the-art technology means you can take comfort knowing you've got the best work at the best prices. Give us a try at Freedom Tire, a proud supporter of the IGHSAU.
Fuel choice that's cheaper, homegrown, and better for the planet? Now that's worth the hype. Pump it up with unleaded 88.
Something exciting is growing on Iowa farms these days. Innovation. From tractors that seed, weed, and harvest with data-driven precision to drones that scout or plant cover crops to protect soil and water. Even our animals live in smart homes with round-the-clock care. Technology keeps your food safer, water cleaner, and makes us more sustainable. Because what we do here benefits everyone here. Life on the farm makes everyone's life better.
Halftime, 51-20. Johnston leads Iowa City Liberty. It was a 27-13 second quarter for Johnston. And they did it the following way. Sydney Pullman, 3 right at the end of the half. Jenica Lewis, 7. Ari Phillips, 10. Dea Phillips, 8. Kelly Kalb, 4. Jalea Kinnett, 7. Paige Andernacht, 2. Amani Jenkins, 10. For a total of 51 points. For Liberty, 6 for Ava Casey, 2 for Janessa Mosley, 3 for Natalie Ramsey, 7 for Maddie Casey, 2 for Natalie Scheckinger. And that is how you get to 20 points. Blake Walker with me as well. And Blake, when you hear those stats and you look at, you mentioned the shooting, it's Johnston 70% shooting from the field to 26. So you said no bad shots. There was 1 3 from Lewis that was bad. And that was just a bad shot. It was still a good
look.
Good idea.
Yeah.
Just that's about it, I think.
Yeah, because most of it has come in transition. I mean, almost all their points have come off assists. I mean, that's just kind of how Johnston plays, and it really is beautiful basketball. I mean, you never watch them and you're like, man, that's a little ugly. It's just poetry in motion how it moves. And for Liberty, it just felt like nothing really came that easy for them, and got a couple chances when they had an opportunity, but yeah, I don't think Liberty had maybe one basket in transition. Johnston's just able to run the floor, and you got to put a body on somebody.
I don't keep rebounds, so thank goodness the Union does. Johnston's out rebounding Liberty 23-7, and I had a feeling Jenica Lewis, I was surprised it's only 5. She was all over the place, so 2 in double figures. All right, if you're Liberty, you kind of talked about it there in the second quarter. You just got to get good looks, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you're not going to win from 3. Although, the threes have been coming. Casey's had a couple good looks. She's been shooting. It's just so hard to get something inside against Johnston.
Oh, that's the thing. Like, yeah, you can make as many shots as you want, but you also got to play defense. And 51 points, I mean, that's a tough task. I mean, and you've given up 51. They've only given up, they average 50 points given up all season, and they just gave up 51 in the first half. So, yes, you got to make your shots. You got to get open. You got to take a good shot selection. But on the other end, on the defensive end, I mean, you just got to lock down because it's just become too easy for Johnston.
All right, we'll take a break. We'll update the rest of the brackets here in Class 5A and 3A, the 2 sets of games coming your way. 7 games. This is game number 1. Back in a moment. You're watching the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union Class 5A quarterfinal. Johnston leads Liberty at the half.
At MidAmerican Energy, we're one company serving 1.6 million people who all need energy that's available 24/7. That's why we work 24/7. That's why we make investments in our systems that make us more resilient to extreme weather. That's why we generate power from all available resources to cover the variables in supply and demand. And that's why when the power is knocked out, we work around the clock to restore power to you. MidAmerican Energy, obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Excelling in athletics takes teamwork, dedication, and a commitment to excellence. These are the same qualities that help our pig farmers and our communities thrive. The Iowa Pork Producers Association is proud to support statewide high school athletics and the student athletes who make us all proud. Visit iowapork.org/wecare to meet the people behind the pork and hear about our winning approach to caring for our pigs, the environment, and our communities.
SWIC is a community. Southwestern Community College is a place in rural southwest Iowa where students from across the world come to be a part of a tight-knit family, Spartan Nation, where they study, train, grow, thrive, and are called by name, not by number. At SWIC, we are one.
Official state tournament merchandise is now available online. Time to get your smartphones out. Scan that QR code on the screen and visit IGHSAU.org to browse and customize your merch to match your style. Long sleeve. We're going to need all 3 types of sleeves this week here at the tournament. 60 today, 40 in rain tomorrow, 30 in snow by Wednesday. They will play all the games. Teams have been told, we're playing, so get here. We'll see how much we watch. Let's take a look at the halftime stats here from Sukup. Blake, what stands out to you?
Field goal percentage, I mean, we've talked about it, 70 to 26%. Rebounds, and, we talked about it too, 23 to 7 in the rebounding category. Steals actually pretty even. You figured, and turnovers. Johnston's turned the ball over 7 times. It really hasn't mattered. It's been the turnovers for Liberty. The problem is we don't have points off turnovers, but I'm going to guess Liberty probably doesn't have many points off those 7 Johnston turnovers, just haven't been able to turn those into points. So just something to keep an eye on here for the second half.
We will have the second half when we return. We'll talk about the Class 5A tournament pairings in a moment. You're watching the high school state tournament in the good weather day. Back in a moment.
At Mid-American Energy, we're one company serving 1.6 million people who all need energy that's available 24/7. That's why we work 24/7. That's why we make investments in our systems that make us more resilient to extreme weather. That's why we generate power from all available resources to cover the variables in supply and demand. And that's why when the power is knocked out, we work around the clock to restore power to you. Mid-American Energy, obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
If you grill it, he will come.
Wait.
Hey.
Is this heaven?
Nope. It's fairway.
Johnston and Liberty now, Centennial and Pleasant Valley next, Dowling Catholic, Davenport North after that, then Waukee Northwest, Cedar Rapids Prairie to close out our Class 5A. Paul Yeager along with Blake Walker. Blake, which of those 5A games has the most intrigue to you?
Prairie and Northwest. I really like that one. What Bruce Dahl has done in his first year at Cedar Rapids Prairie has been awesome. Obviously comes in from Dike New Hartford. And Northwest, they stumbled a little bit there as they were getting through the regionals. So, I love what Coach Powell's been able to do as well. But I keep an eye on that Prairie game. I think it's going to be a fun one in our final one of the day. And a lot of people on Facebook I've seen, it's going to be a CIML semifinals. But you got 4-4 this year. It'll be interesting.
Bruce Dahl bringing his 4th different team to state here this afternoon. After he won 4 straight titles at Dike New Hartford, Peyton Peterson will be here later in the week, one of his star players. So I think he'd like to be here as a coach when that happens later in the week, not just as a supporter. Then we have 3A, Mount Vernon, West Marshall, Cherokee, Esterville, Lincoln Central. That's a conference game.
Yeah.
Wahlert and Dubuque
Conference.
Wahlert and Spirit Lake will be the rest of 3A. Then tomorrow we'll start Williamsburg and Des Moines Christian. Here it's Iowa City Liberty in black, Johnston in white, CIML versus the Mississippi Valley Conference. It's been all CIML in this first game. As we begin half number 2, it's Liberty with the basketball. Driving in is Casey, who had 7 first-half points, and there's one of your turnovers right away. Lewis gives, hits the underside of the rim by Phillips. That's going to hurt the percentage.
She's got a cringe when she came back down.
Good look to find Mosley underneath. Now 3 on the way. Rattles around, almost falls for Goodhart. Put back, no good. Collecting the board is Dea Phillips.
And while Ramsey hasn't been great in the scoring column, her rebounding's actually not been too bad. And that time there another rebound, so picking it up.
Natalie Ramsey, good job collecting there. Dishes it to Mosley in the corner, who dribbles up towards the top of the key, now to the right wing. Casey pulls up her dribble, finding Goodhart. The 3. Shot long. Dea Phillips grabs it.
And that time Johnson didn't even bring anybody out, and that's just kind of how it is. If your shooting percentage at the three-point line is 22%, that's just a business decision by the Dragons to say, we'll force you to shoot some threes if you want.
Phillips to Phillips. Now it's going to be Ari hits the 3. She now leads the Dragons with 13 points.
It's scary that they're only sophomores. My goodness. Just a really tough 1-2 punch.
And I think it was Dea who had lost a little bit of time this year with an injury. But just find another freshman. I'm sure there's another one on that
there's
bench.
one sitting there.
Oh, holding it, tying it up is Jenkins on Mosley right there. And Mosley just took a little shot to the head. Coach calls her the glue to the program and a great leader. And she's kind of trying to figure out what words do I say to help my team right now.
I don't know how her foot didn't leave the ground, but it didn't.
That's a crunch, right? That's a vertical crunch.
Yeah.
Jenkins will catch, shoot, and miss the three. Good weak side rebound by Mosley. And here comes Casey. Top of the key three is good.
You know, I was just about to say Liberty's passing a little bit more to start this half, and then Maddie just comes down and does that. But, hey, if they can start hitting, that's all you need.
Lewis now to Phillips. Kolb's to her right, but instead she dribbles it back out. Waits for Jenkins to come up to the elbow. Now it's Kolb's three. Backspin no good. Chasing it down is Phillips off the face of Casey. And Ava gets it after it goes off Maddie's face. Goodhart waits. Ramsey, three, good.
Had a lot of space to go inside. Decides to take the three. Nice job by Natalie there, the talented junior. Trying to crawl back here.
She's a straight A student. She's trying to put the work in, and before the pass enters to Phillips, she's fouled on the entry.
First team all-conference in the Mississippi Valley, and if you know anything about the Mississippi Valley, that's a prestigious team to get first team all-conference.
Yeah, you had the return of Jenkins just somehow steps through it all and scores. You know, with the return of Prairie this year, West and City High kind of having better years than they'd had here in the last couple, so the league had been getting a little tougher. But, man, Liberty hasn't seen much of this season where they've been down like this.
And Wahlert Catholic down in 3A and 4A, Xavier. I mean, it's just – that's why I think Wahlert Catholic's going to be really tough in 3A because this is who they play. They play Liberty. They play West. They play City High.
Jenkins backs down, pivots through and scores.
I hope the Hokies know what they're getting because, man, she can play.
58-26, 4:18 to play here, third quarter. It's been all Dragons.
Natalie Ramsey trying to hit the floor, maybe get a foul. She didn't get it.
Good drive, poke away by Jenkins. Lewis collects. Now it's 3-0. Kolb's going to get the layup and score. Freshman now with 6.
One thing's for sure about Johnston, they are well conditioned because it's a track meet when they get running.
Goodhart knocked it away. Substitutions coming. Brought to you by IMT Insurance. Learn how you can be worry-free at imtins.com.
Well, and you talked about it, Paul. You bring up substitutions. Johnston, realistically, you think maybe won't really play their starters much in the fourth quarter. Rest is key.
Good turnaround bucket there by Ramsey. Well, and we're going to have limited time because the way things are going, we might get to that 35-point threshold as Lewis is fouled. If that happens, that speeds it up. And actually, yes, the minutes are all the same, but you know how they're not when the clock is running. Third foul charge there for Liberty. As Lewis misses the front end.
I feel like we have not seen Johnston at the charity stripe much today. Haven't needed it.
Lewis, who crossed the 1,000-point threshold earlier this year, now has 8.
Time flies. I remember when she was in 8th grade, and everybody's like, oh, you got to see this girl that's coming up through the ranks, and she has lived up to it.
Good move there by Scheckinger, and then it's a nice kick to the corner, 3, no good, by Casey. Rebound Dragons. Kolb pulls up, shoots the 3, hits the front of the iron, and the rebound for Liberty. Grabbing it was Ramsey, who gets it back. Ramsey has her pocket picked by Kolb, who again is going to get a breakaway layup and score.
Not a bad first showing at the state tournament for the freshman.
You know, you think about these 8th graders that are looking. Nice 3 by Casey. She now has 10. Look at some of the students that are sitting here. There's probably 8th graders that we could be talking about next year. You just don't know.
It's just crazy. I mean, and winning breeds winning, and people want to play basketball when they're winning, and Johnston's just the dynasty that they've built, one of one.
Jenkins tied up. They're going to say it is a tie-up. Good reach there. Natalie Scheckiner, you could kind of see she saw an opening because she's like, Lewis, she goes, there's no way Jenkins knows I'm coming. Kind of snuck attack on her there.
That's the 3rd time that Jenkins has been caught up like that. Kind of lets that ball just kind of sit out there.
That's something coaches will talk about.
Yeah.
You got to keep that thing in a little bit because in the big leagues, they will swat. They will get you.
Well, and if you're watching film, whoever plays them next, I think that's one of the things that they're going to have to look at for your Centennial or Pleasant Valley. Just go after it.
Coming up on 90 seconds to play here in the 3rd quarter. Johnston 63, Liberty 31. Nice give and go. Fake on it, but also even better block by Phillips of Ramsey's shot.
My goodness.
Oh, Kinnitz on the cutback. Phillips, left hand kicks it. Kinnitz, 3. No good. Grabbing the loose ball is Ramsey. She's had a very good game trying to keep her team. She's got somebody behind her, and she's fouled. So when you look at stats, I mean, Blake, how many times have you seen it over the years when you have a team that dominates their competition and they get a lot of players in, sometimes their stats are a little misleading? Do you think there's no misleading about Johnston, but
no.
Are their stats a little that way as the free throws hit by Ramsey?
I think what people don't realize, and I talked about it in the beginning, they usually don't have a girl that goes for 30 or even a girl that might even touch 40. It's just they kind of sit in that 15 to 10 range. I mean, you look at their starting 5, it's all very even scoring. Not just one person dominates. And in the close games that they've had, sometimes that's what it is. But it's just that same old thing. If one person's off, it doesn't matter because all 4, the rest of the 4 of the starting lineup are going to be right there.
Ari Phillips shakes, bakes, 15-footer, good. She now has 15.
Tough to beat that.
Driving in for Liberty and getting fouled is Natalie Scheckiner. So Natalie's had a really nice, she provides a spark off the bench, and when she's been in today, talked about a couple of her tie-ups, and she does right. Good job there for Coach Brandt.
Yeah, averaging about 3 points per contest, and just a freshman. She's only 5'8", so, you know, math says she's probably going to grow just a little bit more, and I think that's something Liberty could use. I mean, they're not very tall, but
free throw is good by Scheckiner. She now has 3. Final 35 seconds of the 3rd quarter is upon us. Pass is knocked away for a moment by Maddie Casey.
I thought Coach Gillick might stand up for the first time all day, but he didn't. He sat down there. Looks like our clock is, it's continuous clock, I suppose. Which I thought it was 35.
I thought it was 35 too.
Maybe it's 30. I need to look at the rule book again.
Phillips, 3 seconds. 2. Kinnitz, 3. Long, good. Are you kidding me?
What
Coming
else can
from
he say?
all angles, Johnston 68, Liberty 33. This is the Class 5A Girls State Basketball Tournament, powered by Mid-American Energy.
At Mid-American Energy, we're one company serving 1.6 million people who all need energy that's available 24/7. That's why we work 24/7. That's why we make investments in our systems that make us more resilient to extreme weather. That's why we generate power from all available resources to cover the variables in supply and demand. And that's why when the power is knocked out, We work around the clock to restore power to you. Mid-American Energy, obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Something exciting is growing on Iowa farms these days. Innovation. From tractors that seed, weed, and harvest with data-driven precision to drones that scout or plant cover crops to protect soil and water. Even our animals live in smart homes with round-the-clock care. Technology keeps your food safer, water cleaner, and makes us more sustainable. Because what we do here benefits everyone here. Life on the farm makes everyone's life better.
Johnston's trying to do something as the band plays on here for Liberty. They're trying to find the right notes here in the final 8 minutes. Johnston's trying to do something that hasn't been done in quite some time, and that's go back-to-back in the biggest class. Ankeny did it 4 times, but they're trying to get back-to-back champions in Class 5A. First time it's happened in 5A, because when Ankeny did it, we only had 4A.
Yeah.
The coach of that team, Scott DeYoung, and his Jaguars will be playing next against Pleasant Valley.
Over-under that game is going to be 50.
Those two teams have played a lot in the last 10 years. Lewis up ahead Jenkins, lay in and score. Jenkins now with 16.
16, 8, 8, 15, 8. Those are the scores of the players on the floor right now for Johnston. Again, spreading the wealth. Wouldn't be surprised if all of them end up in double digits.
Well, the starters are back out there for now. We'll see how long Coach Gillick, he's gone 3 deep on the bench so far, and I'm guessing we're going to get a couple minutes in, and that's what we will see. So the reason we have the continuous clock is we did hit 35, and that's all you need to do. Then it needs to get to 25 at any given moment. So
just so you don't have to keep going back and forth and be like, all right, we're going to stop the clock, start it again.
Jenkins has a go off her hands and out of bounds, and she'll go the other way. Scheckiner will inbound it, and now we'll dribble it up for the Lightning. 17-6 on the season. They did drop their last 2 regular season games to Xavier and Kennedy. Xavier, Tom Lilly, in his last campaign, brings a team to state as he looks to go out as a champion. Nice runner by Lewis, tipped away by Phillips, and fighting for it. Scheckiner, I think, is the one who finally came away with it. Now 3, catch, shoot, score for Maddie Casey, who now has 13. Her season average is now hit. She's a 4-year varsity starter and says, I'm playing until they don't let me play anymore. If 3 is no good, by Jenkins.
And I mean, she has been a big, bright spot here for Liberty, and she's going to be missed.
Nice cut, and now a foul. Ramsey is also fighting hard, so Ramsey's somebody you can build off of.
Yeah, they're only going to graduate Mosley and Casey, so a lot to build on.
Johnston, as we take a quick look at some of the third quarter stats just handed to us, Johnston out rebounding Liberty 29-14. And Johnston only turned the ball over once in that third quarter. The free throws are good.
As if the 7 turnovers really made a difference in that first half, but obviously Coach Gillick got his team to tighten things up a little bit.
Coach Gillick stands up.
And that's significant.
Phillips. That's going to be a tie-up. Dea was getting it to Ari.
He's still coaching.
He is. He wants, and that's also part of it too. You got to keep sharp. Games are only they're only intense at the state tournament. Jenkins called for the foul out front on the reach.
Every minute is an opportunity to get better, and I know everyone knows that, but Coach Gillick knows that just as much. Looks like Liberty's emptying their bench.
And the substitutions from IMT Insurance. Learn how you can be worry-free at imtins.com. Let's see, Johnston's getting ready to do the same thing. Cindy Van Holcomb is on the floor. So is Morgan Bennett. Staying out there is Natalie Scheckinger.
Ari's been doing that all day, and that time, I think that's her first time she's been called for a foul on a reach-in.
And Johnston makes changes too. Try to keep up with all of those. Kinnitz will lead this squad in Pullman, as well as Andernacht. Kaya Hood was just whistled for the foul.
6'2" junior down there is Kaya.
Ruby Pullman in there as well. Still a couple of on the bench. We'll see how they move in. Maddie Meyer is the 5th Liberty player I had not mentioned who's entered the game. Dribbling it there was Bennett, and we're tied up, and it'll go back to Johnston here with the final 3:40 to go in this contest.
And these are good minutes for the Dragons. I mean, to get your bench, go deep into your bench here kind of really helps things out, and you just never know when you're going to be called upon.
Now Pullman with it. Now Kinnitz. And knocked away. Scheckinger from the left side stops, collects, and scores.
Remember her name. I mean, she's going to be a star here for Liberty as the years continue to go on.
Yeah, you've got Ramsey and Scheckinger next year. I think that'll be a good combo. Nice 3 from Kinnitz. Couple of threes for her. Nice cut. Catch and block. Hood got a hand on the shot by Meyer. And Meyer is slow to get up off the ground. 2.5 to play and a couple more substitutions. So Brindley Walker and Sydney Hayden come in.
I've never seen a student section leave in the middle of a game, but Johnston's student section is headed out.
So the Johnston students, they have to be back in school, I think I heard, at 12:30 today. So they don't have much time to mess around as the free throw. There'll be a free throw opportunity here coming for Iowa City West Sydney Van Holcomb.
I have never seen that. Continuous clock helped him out a little bit.
I guess. And we do not start the next game until the scheduled time.
11:45.
11:45 for Sydney Van Holcomb hits the free throw. So we'll have plenty of time between the games. The stream will be available a few minutes before, but that game does not start early as the second free throw is hit. 73-42, 2 minutes to play here. Pullman, now Kinnitz. Down low with Andernacht, and she'll miss the shot. Andernacht, and a rebound comes out for Liberty. Here comes Tague. Hayden gets cut off by Pullman, and then it's knocked away. Collects it back, blocked twice. One of those, though, was a foul.
Good effort to get it back there.
And here comes some more substitutions. As the free throw coming for Sydney Hayden. She hits the free throw. Let's see, here comes Hannah Haxton, Aiden Hauser, Emma Gray. I caught the first.
5, 5, and 5.
Chloe Helgeson was the other one. And I think Sydney Felice also came in. She did. Haxton fights for it, loses it. Shot. Rebound again. That time it's Emma Gray who grabs the ball, and Gray is fouled a long way from the basket. And that foul will be charged to Morgan Bennett. Hannah Haxton inbounds it to Emma Gray.
Obviously, going to be a tough loss for Liberty, but experience. Good experience. Knock it off the list. You've been to the state tournament. And
Haxton's shot is blocked. Gets it back. Now gets it back up top to Felice, who drives in, and her shot is blocked. Great block there by Sydney Van Holcomb. And then we're going to have a held ball. It'll go back to Liberty. 45 seconds left in this contest. And Liberty is going to have to look at this one. First trip in school history, just not quite the way they wanted it to go. But when you face the top seed, one of the best teams in the country, that is a tall order.
You face a juggernaut like that, I mean, that's just
Walker. Walker gets the bucket. Way to go, Brindley. Into the scorebook. Bringing it up is Emma Gray. Now to the corner. Haxton. Back to her. Right block. Hannah's looking for a pass. She gets it to Helgeson. Now it's Hauser. Into the corner. Haxton, they're telling her to shoot it. She won't, but shooting it will be Felice, and it falls a little short, but that doesn't matter. Johnston rolls in the opener, 73-44. Liberty wins the fourth quarter 11-5, but fall in this opening contest, and it was all Johnston, Blake.
Yeah, it was, and give a lot of credit to the Dragons. I mean, it's just a game plan. They've done what they've done all season long and really showed up, and nothing changed. I mean, it's just the Johnston team we've seen all season long, and when you score 51 points in the first half, it sure does make the second half a little easier.
Liberty finished 33% shooting from the field, 57% for Johnston. Hayden with a point, Holcomb with 2, Walker with 2. And none of the last 5 that came in for Johnston scored. And we are just waiting to move these teams on. Let's go across to Tim Fitzpatrick.
Fans, please direct your attention to the court for the awards presentation. In addition to receiving medallions, each participating player will receive a commemorative basketball provided by the Iowa Farm Bureau, proud title sponsor of the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union. Presenting awards from the IGHSAU are basketball administrator Gary Ross and Executive Director Aaron Gerlich. Congratulations, Head Coach Jamie Brandt and the Lightning from Liberty on an outstanding basketball season. And now, number 24, Ruby Pullman. Advance your team to the next round on the official bracket at center court. Congratulations, Johnston fans. Your team advances to the 5A semifinals, and you will play Thursday, March 6th at 10 a.m. Fans, on behalf of the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union.
Johnston will play the winner of the next one, Ankeny Centennial in Pleasant Valley, set to tip off in just about a half an hour. Again, that game will not start early. It will start at 11:45, but our feed will start at the bottom of the hour here on the Girls Digital Network. So for Liberty, quickly they finished Natalie Ramsey with 11, Maddie Quincy with 13, Natalie Scheckinger with 5, Ava Casey with 9. They'll finish the season 17-7. Quick look at some of the Johnston stats: 15 for Ari Phillips, 8 for Dea Phillips, Kinnitz with 13, Jenkins 16. So just a great performance for Liberty, though. Good first experience, just a tough way to go, and they have to put the smiles on and know what it takes to get here and hope they be here next year.
Yeah, that's all you can do. You just got to move on, and obviously a tough game, but experience is key, and congrats to the Bolts on a great season.
Thank you, Blake Walker. I'm Paul Yeager. Thanks to everyone else here behind the scenes at the tournament and on the digital network that keep you powered. Again, your final scores, you take a look at those first game highlights. There's Jenkins and there's Liberty trying to do battle. A lot more basketball to come. You're watching the Iowa Girls State Basketball Tournament here from Wells Fargo Arena, so long as Johnston advances.